Alser arbete perro begerto. Jetta perro begeloge gomin. Bakarnish beaderto. Yirs beabegeloge gomin. Genish hacho gatarota arusanoto.
I'm surviving in a system of form. Time to get it right. Hebrew Israelites, do good in your sight. For too long we've been in shackle and chain. Babylonian system corrupt. Every day I get to youth bite the dust. Oh yeah, you alone, me put first. Please deliver us. Whoa. Israel, the world is waiting on thee. Let us get it together. Hands of the Most High. I'm a Babylonian system of fall. I'm a Babylonian system of fall. I'm a Babylonian system of fall. I'm a Babylonian system of fall.
To you, it might just look like I'm chilling, but my mind is racing, just trying to get out how I'm feeling, trying not to get discouraged. And it's like that I'm living, but the blood spilling got me trying to figure out who's the villain. Is it me or is it you? Cause your story just don't seem true. You keep shooting them guns at me, cause my face don't look like you witnessed a crime, but you seem to do it all the time. And all that screaming that we be doing on me like this in rhymes. Now I sit here, broke it down, heart full of sadness. When you feel what you want, anyone that happens, but then I think we're passing through all of the madness and realize the Most High gonna change it all the gladness. And now give me hoping I won't hold that in grass, cause this heritage we got is more important than the madness. I'm fasting, trying to gain knowledge to get through this bondage. I know the truth, so only to your name I pay homage.
Tell them that you can work hard. Tell them we go soon out the Savior. Tell all the woman keep their foot sharp. I tell all the brothers we go wanna come. Babylon them after we, but we can't stop. We have to work hard and we have to push back every day and every night. We get on our knees and look up to the sky and say please God. Wake up, will you drive on? We've been sleeping for too long. For too long. Me say, wake up, will you drive out? We've been sleeping for too long. Wake up. Israel, the world is waiting on thee. Let us get it together. Hands of the Most High. I'm a Babylonian system of fall. 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 The hand of God was upon me. He carried me out in the spirit of God and set me down in the midst of the valley where it was full of bones. And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in open valley. And lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Adonai, Yah, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and said to them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yah. We've been sleeping for too long.
Humble Hebrews, humble Hebrews, humble.
Hey, Tom, we got another one.
Humble Hebrews, humble Hebrews, humble.
Hey, the real, we got another one.
Humble Hebrews, humble Hebrews, humble.
Israel, we got another one.
Humble Hebrews, humble.
Got another one. You better get ready, get ready, get ready, ready. Cause the truth is spreading, it's spreading, it's spreading, it's spreading. You better get ready, get ready, get ready, ready. Cause the truth is spreading, it's spreading, it's spreading, it's spreading. You better get ready. Better keep Torah, for the truth hit the folk. You better get ready. Better keep Torah, for the truth hit the folk. You better get ready. Only fear Yah, El Elyon Most High. You better get ready. Only fear Yah, El Elyon Most High. Yeah, truth is spreading, so ain't no time to waste. grace, and I pray I covered by his grace. You can see the sign. This is the times what we call the last evil days. For minutes that come in the most high name, they gonna lead many astray. Look at the churches, the sober deserted. They going through motion with lawless ways. You better do what the most high say. Keeping laws, statute commandments. Since I started, people let me stranded, but not once I ever felt abandoned. Told her about y'all for y'all understanding, and righteous judgment he demanded. And as the days of Noah, I wonder how many gonna let standing. Yeah, only saving the remnant. A remnant? 2/3 gonna be in that fire smoke. Yeah, throwing his knowledge and wisdom and vision, and I'm trying to catch like I'm Julio. Faith come by the hearing the word of Yah. Now just righteous audio, gotta stay ready with the word in my heart. Now just righteous audio.
Get ready. Cause the truth is spreading, it's spreading. You better get ready. Cause the truth is spreading.
I'm waiting for some of these beginners to come in here.
You better get ready.
Gotta keep Torah, but the truth hit the focus.
I'm waiting for some of these beginners to come in here.
But the truth hit the focus.
You better get ready.
On the fair, yeah,
Give them a little bit more time to come in. Because, like I say, Shemaya, you know vows, and Deborah, you know vows. So, ones that really need it
get it in
aren't
order
here.
when y'all say it's time. Trust me, you don't want to be slipping. I need
give him
some
some more
mirror
time.
and Tatora La Olam wa Ed Kane.
That's all on you. I'm just here for, you know what I mean?
I want the Torah forever and ever. Yes, I would do that without a question.
We gotta figure out a day for the conversational class.
Yeah, I got somebody that's gonna help with that too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to see what day, what day,
That is the mission.
they
Wake
come
up
in,
our
kind of
people
help a
and change
little
the
bit.
condition
They
and
know,
get
Okay.
They know a
Y'all
little
got the
bit
key
more
and ignition. You
conversational.
ready? Let's go. And know you only master permission. Every word that was spoken
Should I
is
say they know
destined
a
to
little bit
happen.
more
Just wait, it will come
vocabulary?
to fruition. Gotta return to the Torah to
For
the
sure.
creator of all if you want his attention.
I'm trying to work with him one day to come up there time for him to come in and help. He don't want to teach or nothing like that. He was like, I can assist, I can help. You know.
I can actually get in contact with my boy Yokanan. He'll teach.
Okay. Yeah, he can come in and teach the conversational Hebrew. That's what's up.
Yeah, he'll teach.
We'll put it together. So yeah.
That's all that work that I sent you.
Yeah, that was his.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop, mama.
Yeah, excuse me. All right, well, yeah, man. I said I'm gonna give them some more times 8:05. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get asked at 8:15. Nobody else come in, then we gonna just be like,
All right, bet.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Man, hey man. While I'm sitting here, man, this dude made a video about me, called me a false teacher, false all this stuff. Boy,
Who did that?
It's this dude named Yudah. So I made video part 1 about his ass. This motherfucker don't understand that prophetic perfect is still a prophecy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, like he really embarrassed himself. I use his video that he trying to expose me and just point out, you know what I'm saying, the lies. I only used 10 minutes of this nigga video, bro. I pointed out like 6-7 lies, bro. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. And I wasn't even going to do nothing like that. Only thing that I said, I was like, man, Isaiah 53, bro. If you look in the grammar and you look in the grammar of Jeremiah, you'll see that it's talking about Jeremiah, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I like to converse with you. This nigga, him and his followers start trying to attack me in this. Oh, so you niggas want to attack. All right, let me take these gloves off. You know what I'm saying? Let me take these gloves off. So, yeah, so I'm finna go. I got to do part 2 tonight, and I'm going to do part 2. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to ask his ass. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, you said that this person is dying for all the nations. That's a lie. What does Ami mean? You know what I'm saying? Can you show me what Ami means and what stem form it is and how you get nations out of Ami? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you saying that Ezekiel fulfilled Isaiah 53. Can you show me Ezekiel being led to the slaughter like a lamb? Like in Jeremiah when he said that when he was the passive lamb being led to the slaughter? Like, it's a lot of things that I'm you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That I'm finna point out to him. And I'm like, see.
Get on his head, shit.
Yeah, I'm getting on his head, bro. The first video I already got on his head. But this second video, I'm finna really, really, really get on his head. He finna be done after this. Because for number one, the nigga plagiarizing somebody else's work. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to tell. Because that's why I was like, bro, you don't know the grammar, man. Stop grandstanding, man. Stop grandstanding, bro.
Like the nigga opened up with Shaloma, right? I was like, Shaloma is a female name, bro. It's a female proper name, bro. It is like it's a personal greeting to the person who bears that name.
Yeah.
It's not like Shalom. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Unless you calling yourself Shaloma, you know what I'm saying? You saying come on, man. So
You know, it's always somebody who just want to be important, bro.
yeah, so I just let it be. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever. But yeah, he made that video. I was like, oh, you want to make videos? Okay. Just like what's the name said on Coming to America. Oh, you hit me and shot me in my big toe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we finna come on with it.
Yeah. Now I got to catch.
Yeah, now I got to cut you. You know what I'm saying? But all right, I see a few people in here from the beginners class that need this vowel work. So we're gonna go ahead and get
Yeah,
started.
for sure, for sure.
And
We
so
go on mute.
all right, for sure, for sure. So this is the exact PDF that's in the Biblical Hebrews beginner class, all right? And last time we read this chapter 2 about the Hebrew vowels, and we're going to read it again because it's important that you know the Hebrew vowels because the Hebrew vowels, it changes the stem form. Well, what do I mean by it changes the stem form? Let me see if I can pull something up real quick to show you. Let me see here. All right. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to switch my screen to show you what I mean by changing the stem forms. All right, can you see my screen now? You should see right here, it's called this verb chart. This is the strong verb chart right here. Okay, as you can see, each stem form means something different, right? One is a causative, one is a passive, one is causing the action to be done, etc. That is how you can tell when you tell is by the vowels. If you look right here, you see the kamets, which makes the A sound vowel. For all of this stem form, you see A until you get to the second masculine plural. You see the E, the shawa, the E. That's why it's important to know the vowels. That's why we spend a lot of time on the vowels. You see, for the Nephi stem form, you have the noon with the I class vowel and the E class vowel follow it. Anytime you see a word that's like this right here, you automatically know it's in the Nephi stem form. Okay? That is why it is important to hold on, let me share my other screen. That's why it's important to know the vowels and to be able to identify the vowels because it changes the context and it changes the word. It changes the stem form. Okay, so that's why we spend a lot of time on the vowels. So we're going to go back and read the chapter 2 again, and then we'll get into chapter 3. Hebrew vowels. You might be surprised to learn that originally the Hebrew language had no written system of vowels. This does not mean, however, the Hebrew vowels did not exist. While they did not exist in written form, they had always been present in the spoken form of the language. If we were to take the vowels out of the English writing system, these vowels would still be present in the spoken form. An English translation of Deuteronomy 6 and 5 serves as an example. As you see here, love the Lord your God with all your heart. Without the vowels, we are left with a series of consonants, much like the ancient written form of Hebrew. And you see here, the vowels are missing. But if you were, somebody was to give this to you, you would still place the vowels in there. And you would still be like, love the Lord your God with all your heart. You would your mom would place the vowels in there. In there. Does that mean that you can spell love without a vowel? No, it does not. Okay, so it's the same thing with Hebrew. That's why it's called an abjad language. It is an abjad language. All right. In order to read this sentence out loud, you would need to rely on your knowledge of English and supply the necessary vowels, like I just showed you. In the same way, when Joshua read the entire law of Moses to the Israelites in Joshua 8, he had before him a consonantal text with no vowels. This required Joshua to supply from memory the necessary vowels when reading. Fortunately for us, this is not the case today. In the second half of the first millennium AD, a group of dedicated scribes called Masoretes became concerned with preserving the oral tradition or spoken form of Hebrew. They developed an elaborate system of vowels notation called pointing. This pointing system was designed to preserve the spoken system of words in the written text. Because the Masoretic scribes considered the biblical text to be sacred, their vowel symbols were designed in such a way as to never alter the original consonantal text. To do this, the Masorites developed vowel symbols that were placed under, inside, to the left, or above the consonantal characters. Let us look once again at Deuteronomy 6 and 5, but this time in Hebrew. You will notice that the consonants are exactly the same in both examples. In the second example, however, the Masoretic vowel pointing system has been added. Notice the majority of symbols exist below the consonants, with occasional symbols inside or to the left or over the consonants. All right, and so right here, it has it without the vowels, and down here it has it with the vowels. So you see it right here. Wechaba et Yudah Eloheka Bakal Lebek, right? Lebek. It's the same thing right here. Only difference is right here you have the vowels. Right here you have to supply the vowels yourself. That's why people be like, oh, Hebrew didn't have no vowels. That's Yiddish. That's erroneous. It's a lie, and they can't prove that. Now, Hebrew vowel charts. In the following charts, Hebrew vowels are presented in three major categories: long, short, and reduced. Within these vowel types, there are 5 vowel classes: A, E, I, O, and U. Though not all are attested in each of the vowel types. Each vowel will appear with the consonant bet with the dagesh in it to make the hard B. In order to show the position of the vowel with respect to its consonant, it is important to note that the vowel is pronounced after the consonant with which it is associated. For example, you have the bet and you have the patak right here, right? A sound. It is pronounced ba and not ab. The bet is pronounced bo, right? Because you got the chalam right above it, the O class vowel. It's pronounced bo and not ob. Remember that while Hebrew is written from right to left, English transliteration is written from left to right. Study each of the following vowel charts with care. For each vowel, you should be able to give its vowel class, vowel type, vowel name, and transliteration. The transliteration system is fairly simple for vowels. All A-class vowels, for example, are transliterated with some form of letter A. This is the same for each subsequent class of vowels. In transliteration, long vowels have a horizontal line, which is a macron, over the letter. So you can see right here. So when you see this in the transliteration, it's telling you it's a long A, a long E, a long O. Short vowels are unaltered. A, E, I, O, and U. Reduced vowels exhibit what looks like a small u placed above the letter. So when you see a transliteration of like that, it's showing you that it's a short A, or a short E, or a short O. For now, do not be concerned about the physical similarity between the kametz, the long A, and the kametz chataf, the short O. You will learn how to distinguish between them in the next chapter. And most of the times when you see this right here, it's going to be an O. It's not going to be an A, it's going to be an O. Finally, you should begin the process of becoming familiar with the pronunciation value of each vowel. Learning the sound for each vowel will take some time, so be patient. And it will. This is why repetition and studying this is why we push this. I also go and say that, next week, I'm going to be asking y'all to pronounce words. So study it. I'm going to tell if you've been studying the vowels or not. If you can't pronounce a word, you ain't been studying the vowels. Now, in this type, we got the Hebrew vowel chart 1, long vowels. In this type, I-class and U-class vowels are not attested. These vowels are often called changeable long vowels, right? So you have your A-class vowel, the kametz, and it makes the A as in father, father. You have the siri, which is the 2 dots side by side, is an E-class vowel. It makes the E sound in they. And then you have the O-class with the dot above, which is the chalam, and it makes the O as in roll, roll. All right? So that's your A, E, and O right there. Now you have the vowel chart 2, short vowels. In this type, all 5 vowel classes are attested for. So we're going to see all 5 vowels. You see your A class vowel with the patak right here. See the patak? It makes the A sound as in bat, bat. Now you have another E class vowel, the sagol. It makes the E class, the E sound is in better, better. You have your I class vowel, which is the hyrek, the dot underneath the consonant. It makes the I sound as in bitter, bitter. Then you have your O class vowel, right? The chametz katuf. It makes the O sound as in bottle, bottle. Then you have your U class vowel, which is the kibbutz, right? It has the 3 dots diagonal underneath the consonant. It makes the U sound as in ruler, ruler, ooh. Right? So now we go to chart 3. In this type, I class and U class vowels are not attested. So we have the chatef patak. It's an A class vowel. It has the patak with the shawah next to it. It's the A sound is in amuse, amuse. Then you have the chatef sagal, right? It has the 3 triangle, the inverted triangle with the shawah next to it. It makes the E sound is in metallic, meh. Then you have the O class, the chatef kametz, right? Chatef kametz. It makes the O sound as in commit, commit. So summary of the vowel chart, long, short, and reduced vowels. You have your long vowels, the kametz, the siri, and the chalam. You have your short vowels, the patak, the sagal, the chayrik, the chametz hataf, and the kibbutz. And you have your reduced vowels, the chatef patak, the chatef sagal, and hatef kametz. All right? So you need to study these and spend a lot of time on these. This is going to make the biggest difference in your reading and in your parsing and rendering. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hebrew vowel letters. In the charts below, you will encounter what are called vowel letters. The ancient scribe was well aware of the difficulties associated with reading text without vowels. To this end, as early as the 10th century BC, the innovative scribes would occasionally use certain Hebrew consonants to indicate different vowel sounds. The consonant che was generally used to indicate the A vowel, but also others. The consonant yod in the Paleo was used to indicate the I and E vowels, and the consonant vav was used to indicate the U and O vowels in the Paleo. A good example of this phenomenon is the variable spelling of David's name. Originally, it was spelled Dalif, Vo, Dalit, with a dagesh right there, dagesh laning, for Dawood. But later, it is spelled Dalit, Vav, Dalit, Yod, David. In the second example, you will notice the insertion of the Yod right here, David, to indicate the I vowel in the second half of the name, David. The Yod is not functioning as a consonant but as a vowel. In other words, certain Hebrew letters can either be consonantal or vocalic. In general, vowel letters are written with a combination of a vowel, long or short, a consonant, che, vav, or yod. The most common vowel letters are hyrek yod, chalik vav, and sharek. Right? You see the sharek right here, right? With the dot under, to the left of the vav. That's called a sharek. The dot above the vav is called a chalam vav. Right? And then when you have any consonant with a dot underneath it followed by a yod, that's called hyrek yod. All right, so Hebrew vowel letter charts. In other standard Hebrew grammars, these vowels may be referred to as historically long vowels. Vowel letters written with hey, right? So we're going to talk about vowel letters written with hey now. Note that hey is used as a vowel letter only at the end of a word, as in torot, or Torah. I'm sorry, Torah. You see the hey at the end of the word right here, Torah, and at Yibneh. You see right here, Yibneh, he will build. The name of each is a combination of the name of the vowel, which is a comments. So you see the comments right here, and the name of the consonant, hey, right? You see comments, hey. You see sagar, hey. And so what they're showing you right here now is the different A class, E class, and U class vowels with the hey at the end of the word preceded by a vowel under the prior consonant. So here you have your A class vowels, right? Comments hey. It makes that same A as in father. You see here we have the letter B. Underneath it you have a comments, and then immediately following the hey. And it's the end of the word. So it's ba. It makes that same A sound as in father. For the E class vowel, you have the Siri hey. The Siri is under the bet consonant, and it is followed by the hey, which is at the end of the word. So Siri hey. It makes the E as in they. You have hey, same thing with the Sagal hey, except for it makes the E as in better. So Siri hey makes the E as in they, and Sagal hey makes the E as in be. So you have Sagal hey, be, and then you have the Siri hey, eh. So then you have the I class. You have the column above the consonant bet, right? And then you have hey at the end of the word. So it's bo. Chalam hey. It makes the same O sound as in roll. Now we move to vowel letters written with vav. These vowels are often referred to as unchangeable long vowels because they do not reduce or change. Note that the name of the U class vowel in this type is unique. Its name is not a combination of any vowel or consonant, as is with the case with the other vowels. What do I mean? See right here, you have the hey and you have the halam hey. Sagol and the hey, sagol hey. But down here, you don't have that. It's halam vav. And then this one right here is sharek. So this is the only one that has it, halam vav, because you have the vav and you have the halam, the dot above the vav. So it's saying bo. So it's making the O as in roll. And then for the U class vowel, you just have this what's called a sharek. You have it to the left of the vav. So it's called a shirik. It makes the U as in ruler. All right, so next we'll move to letters written with vowel letters written with the yod, right? So remember, all these are at the end of a word, not the sentence, but a word. Okay, for every word in a sentence that ends in halam yod or halam vav or halam hey, this is what it's talking about. All right, so vowel letters written with yod. These vowels are also referred to as unchangeable long vowels because they do not reduce or change. The name of each is a combination of the name of the vowel and the name of the consonant yod. Some grammarians consider comments yod and patak yod to be vowel letters. Others consider them diphthongs. All right, so we have E class vowel here, Siri yod, right? Siri yod, the same thing with hey, with the hey, right? Siri hey, the same thing, except for it's not a hey, it's a yod. Siri yod makes the E as in they. Sagol yod makes the E as in better. Hyrik yod makes the I as in machine. In. So that when you see the Hyrik yod, in, it makes that I sound. So now we move to the summary of the vowel charts. So with the hey, you have commence hey. With the sagol, you have sagol hey, you have halam hey. With vav, you have halam vav, you have shirik. With yod, you have sagol yod, siri yod, you have hyrik yod. All right, so these are things that you must remember. Now we move to what's called defective writing. Before I go along, is everybody pretty much getting an understanding of everything? You just put a 1 in the chat. All right. So let's see here. Back here. So defective writing. You have just learned that certain vowels use a consonant in the formation of their symbol, and that these vowels are called vowel letters. Sometimes certain vowel letters are written without their consonant. This phenomenon, known as defective writing, occurs with some frequency. It should also be noted that when these vowels are written with their consonants, it is called full writing. The full or defective spelling of a word makes no difference in the meaning of the word. There are 3 patterns of defective writing to be learned. So on the left-hand side, we see examples of full writing. On the right-hand side, we see examples of defective writing. Okay? So on the left-hand side, we have the word bow. It's written with the Halem Vav, right? So the defective writing would be remove the Vav and put the Halem above the bit consonant. Same word, but just written defectively. Bow. Bow. So you have right here, ram's horn, right? So far. So you have so far right here with the yod, with the Halem Vav, right? With the Halem Vav. Remove the Halem Vav, you still have the same word, so far. Same thing right here. You have boo, with the shirek. Replace the shirek, add the kibbutz up under the bed continent, you have the same word, boo. So shirek to kibbutz, right? What is this? Madua, something like that. Madua, and you have the same thing, the kibbutz, right? It's removed. They took the vav out and swapped it out with the kibbutz. You have the same thing here with the hirik yod and the hirik, right? Take the yod away and just leave the hirik yod, the hirik. This is an example of full writing right here on the left-hand side versus defective writing on the right-hand side. All right? So, like I said, full writing, defective writing. These are the 3 examples. Halem Vav to Halem, Shurek to Kibbutz, and Hirik Yod to Hirik. All right? And I am recording this video so you can go back and watch it. And they showed another example with David, right? You see here, you see the Yod right here, and then they took the Yod out and you still have David. There is no certain way to always predict when a vowel will be written defectively. Familiarity with vocabulary and frequent exposure to this phenomenon will help you in the identification of defectively spelled words. Study a few more examples, right? And you have right here torot, right? The feminine plural of laws, and right here you still have torot. Right here you have it with 2 Halem vowels. Right here you have it with 1 with the Halem right above the resh. Same thing right here. Meeting place, moed. Moed. You have the Halem vav right here. Take the Halem vav, and you still have moed, right? Put the Halem above the mem, right? And the same thing. So these are the examples that they're showing you right there. Defective versus full writing. Now we move to the shawah. You will notice in the Hebrew vowel chart that I showed you earlier that each reduced vowel exhibits a pair of vertical dots. And you see it right here in the examples right here, the shawah. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. You see right there, the shawah. You see the patak shawah. You see sagol shawah. You see the kamet shawah. Okay. Exhibits a pair of vertical dots on the right side of the vowel symbol. These vertical dots also occur without an accompanying vowel. This vowel sign is called shawah. The shawah is not listed in the above vowel charts because it's not like any other vowel. It's not like any other vowel. The shawah does not belong to any vowel class, nor does it belong to any vowel type, long, short, or reduced. There are 2 basic types of shawah in Hebrew, the silent shawah and the vocal shawah. The silent shawah has a 0 value and is never pronounced and never transliterated. The vocal shawah maintains a hurried pronunciation. and sounds like the A in amused. It is transliterated either as an upside down E or as a superscript E. In the next chapter, you will learn how to distinguish between silent and vocal schwa. The halom over the shin and the sin. In some instances, the vowel symbol halom is used with shin, the two dots combined into one dot over the consonant. For example, we would expect to see something like Yosbim with two distinct dots, right? So you see right here, Yosbim, you see it only has one dot over the shin. But the two dots will sometimes combine into a single dot, which will serve two purposes. It distinguishes between the hard S and the SH. And it also serves the hard S, and the SH. And it also serves as the long O class vowel, the halom. You will learn in the next chapter that all initial consonants must be followed by a vowel. So for those that say the name, the name is Yahuwah or Yahweh and all that stuff, they have an issue on their hands because the rules of simplification, which we'll get into next. For a different variation, the dot over the sin in sonne, as you see right here, shone, distinguishes between sin and shin, and it also serves as a halom vowel. The dagesh forte. There is another pointing symbol to be discussed at this point. The dagesh forte. You know his brother, the dagesh lene, as we went over that in chapter 1. You had homework on it. In chapter 1, you learned that 6 consonants, the Bagad Kafet letters, have 2 different pronunciations. In order to distinguish between the 2 pronunciations, a small dot, dagesh lene, was inserted into the consonant for the hard B and without it for the soft V. The dagesh forte looks exactly like the dagesh lene. The effect of the dagesh forte, however, is to double the consonant in which it occurs. For example, the Hebrew word the heavens, ha-shemayim, has a dagesh forte located in the shin. And you see right here, it has a dot above, and it has a dot right here in the middle, right? A dagesh forte. When pronouncing or transliterating this word, therefore it should be rendered with 2 N's, 2 S's. Samayim. The dagesh forte can occur in any consonant except the gutturals, aleph, ayin, che, and het, and resh. The gutturals and resh, therefore, will never take a dagesh lene or a dagesh forte. Like the dagesh lene, the dagesh forte can occur in Bagad Kafat consonants. It is important to note that when a dagesh forte occurs in the Bagad Kafat consonant, it doubles the hard pronunciation and not the soft. In the next chapter, you will learn to tell the difference between the dagesh lene and the dagesh forte when they appear in Bagad Kafat letters. In summary, after working through this chapter, you should be able to identify vowels by name. You should also be able to write, pronounce, and transliterate the vowels, including the schwa. In other words, make sure that you master the information in this summary below. So all this summary right here, make sure you master it because I'm going to be quizzing you the next time we have class on next Friday. Okay? I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to point to this and ask you what is this. And you will have homework on this tonight. All right? So study all this. This is inside of your PDF that you have. So it's no excuses. Number 3, vowel letters written with hey. Vowel letters written with hey occur only at the end of a word, as in Torah and in Yibneh. Vowel letters written with vav and yod are often referred to as unchangeable long vowels, because as you will learn later, they do not reduce or change. Number 5, defective writing is that phenomenon in which certain vowel letters are written without their consonant. There are 3 patterns of defective writing to be learned. Halom vav to halom, shurek to kibbutz, hyrik yod to hyrik. Number 6, the dagesh forte doubles the consonant in which it appears. It can also occur in any consonant except the gutturals and resh. All right? And so I'm not going to read this part right here, but I'm going to read this advanced information. Advanced information, alternative vowel classification. Originally, there were only 3 vowel classes in Hebrew, and yes, that includes the Paleo. It was only A, I, and U. The other vowel classes, E and O, they developed later, and they developed before Matres Letiones came. They developed before the Mezerites. The E class developed from the original I class, and the O class developed from the original U class. For this reasons, most Hebrew grammarians prefer to divide Hebrew vowels into 3, A, I, and U, rather than 5, A, E, I, O, and U, classes. By doing this, E-class vowels are considered a subset of the I, and O-class vowels are considered to be subset of the U. Other grammarians, however, divide Hebrew vowels into 5 classes, with which most students are familiar from their study of English. In this grammar, we have adopted the 5-class system. For your reference, the following chart shows both categorization systems together. Note that this information is not present for memorization, but that so you might be familiar with other grammar presentations. All right? And it's showing you right here, long, short, reduced, A-class vowels, I-class vowels, and U-class vowels. All right? Now, we move to syllabification, right? A minute ago, I said those that say the name Yahuwah, Yahweh, etc., they have 2 problems on their hands, okay? Problem number 1, which is rule number 1 of Hebrew syllabification. Problem number 2 is rule number 2 of Hebrew syllabification. So we're about to get into Hebrew syllabification and pronunciation, all right? Now that we have covered the Hebrew system of consonants and vowels, it becomes important to refine our ability to pronounce Hebrew words correctly. To do so, it is necessary to work on the issue of syllabification. Syllabification is simply the process of dividing words into syllables, the basic sounds of each word. In most English dictionaries, entries are commonly syllabified to aid with pronunciation. Most examples include biblical, grammar, introduction. Some words have only 1 syllable, which is monosyllabic, and therefore they have no syllable divider, like dog, cat, friend, etc. In English, we syllabify words instinctively. Instinctively, what was that? We syllabify words instinctively, but since we are not native speakers of Hebrew, we will not have the instincts needed to correctly syllabify Hebrew words. For this reason, we will have to rely on certain rules and principles to aid us in this process. 2 rules of syllabification. In order to divide Hebrew words into syllables, you must begin with 2 simple rules. Number 1, every syllable must begin with 1 consonant and have only 1 vowel. So it can't have 2 vowels. It can't start with a vowel. In Hebrew, therefore, a syllable does not begin with a vowel, with one exception to be discussed in chapter 5. The Hebrew word for word is dabar, and is syllabified as da and bar. You see it right here in the Hebrew syllabified, and you see it right here in the English. You have the open and you have the closed. This example has 2 syllables, each beginning with a consonant and each having only 1 vowel. Rule number 2. There are only 2 types of syllables, open and closed. Open syllables end with a vowel. Closed syllables end with a consonant. These 2 types of syllables are present in the above example, da and bar. The first syllable, da, is open because it ends in the vowel, the A. The second syllable is closed because it ends in a consonant. It's just that simple. It's really that simple. These 2 rules are the essence of this chapter. The remaining of the chapter will discuss more specific issues and potential difficulties with the application of these rules to Hebrew words. Hebrew accents. Hebrew words are usually accented, which means stressed, on the last syllable. So what does that mean? What this means is that the force of the pronunciation is usually given to the last syllable. Using the word dabar as an example, the stress or force of pronunciation falls on the last syllable, bar. So you would say dabar, dabar. That would be stressing the last syllable. We're stressing the last syllable, bar, bar, dabar. See how we quickly said dabar. Cultivating the ability to stress the last syllable in Hebrew words will be difficult for most of us, since we typically stress the first syllable in English. So in English, they stress the first syllable. In Hebrew, we stress the last syllable, dabar. Introduction. You see what I'm saying? In English, introduction. The N is stressed, as opposed to introduction. You know what I'm saying? The shun should be stressed in the Hebrew. So that's the difference. The stress in these words will be indicated by an accent mark over the stressed syllable. For example, the Hebrew word for book is sofer. Sofer. In the example, let me make it bigger so you guys can see. Excuse me. So we see here sofer. We see sefer. We see the first syllable se, and we see the stress of the second closed syllable fer. Sefer, right? Sefer. This word happens to be stressed on the first syllable. This is indicated by the accent mark. You see the little arrow over it? That's called an accent mark. The accent mark over the samik. Right? So when you see that, it's showing you that, right? If a Hebrew word is stressed on the last, this is indicated by the accent mark over the samik. If the Hebrew word is stressed on the last syllable, however, no accent marks is used. As a general rule, if the stress falls to any other syllable, it is indicated with the accent mark. Syllable classification. In Hebrew, syllables are classified by the proximity to the accent. Number 1, the tonic. The accented syllable is called the tonic or tone syllable. Once again, using the example dabar, the syllable bar is the tone or tonic syllable because it is the accented syllable. In the example sefer, the syllable se is the tonic syllable because it is the accented syllable. So se, sefer, sefer. That's why it's accent. That's why you hear the se. You know, I said that backwards a minute ago. All right, number 2, pretonic. Syllables in the pretonic position occur before the tonic syllable. In the example dabar, the syllable da would be pretonic because it occurs before the tonic syllable that is stressed. Right? And then you have number 3, which is called the propretonic. The syllable occurring, the propretonic is the syllable occurring before the pretonic syllable. This is called the prepretonic syllable. In the examples, daparim, you see da, ba, rim, right? Da, ba, davarim, davarim. The syllables de and the syllables se are pretonic syllables because they occur before are propretonic syllables because they occur before the pretonic syllable, right? And it's showing you right here, right? Or right here, se, separim. So separim, right? Separim, you see right here. Separim, you have the se, this right here. The se, the s and the e, preprotonic, right? The s and the e, preprotonic, right? And then you have the da, right? As preprotonic as well. The eem is a tonic because you hear the eem. You're emphasizing the stress in the eem, right? You're stressing the plurality. 3.5, the dagesh and syllabification. You will remember from chapter 2 that the bagad kafat consonants can take a dagesh lene, hardening the sound of the consonant. And all consonants except the gutturals and resh can take a dagesh forte, doubling the consonant. The dagesh lene does not affect syllabification. The dagesh forte, however, does affect syllabification, but because it doubles the value of the consonant. For example, one of the Hebrew words for you is, what is that? Atah. Atah. Inside the second letter of this word is a dagesh forte. Inside the tav, you see the dagesh forte. Right here, it shows you. Because the dagesh forte doubles the value of this consonant, it must be rendered twice in transliteration. So this word right here would be the atah would be A-T-T-A-H, as you see right here. Note the double T. Since the tav is doubled, it functions both as the final consonant of the first syllable and the first consonant of the second syllable, at, and then ta. In order to syllabify the Hebrew word, you would need to draw a vertical line through the dagesh forte in the tav. In this grammar, however, syllabification of words with the dagesh forte is rendered in the following manner: at and ta. Note that the gray character tav does not really exist except to demonstrate the doubling power of the dagesh forte. The following examples are intended to illustrate further the syllabification of the dagesh forte. And you have hookah right here, hookah, and it shows you right here again with two Q's, hook and then ka, hook ka, hookah. Then you have yabasha, yabasha, with the kametz hey at the end. You see it right here. This right here is for this is a dagesh forte and a dagesh lene. It's suffering both, and you see it right here. Yab, Y-A-B, ba, B-A, sha, S-A-H, sha, yabasha, right? Yabasha. Let's see, was it Ubara, Uriah. That's what that is, Uriah, because this is silent, Uriah. So you see right here, Uriah, right? You see Uriah, and you have it right here with the olive and the the sheret making the olive is silent, You have the resh with the hyrek yod making the I sound, and then you have the yod making the ya sound. Uriah, you know what I'm saying? Uriah. All right, and there's another example. Tefillah, right? You have the tet, T-E, and this could be a P or a F, and it's a P, so tefillah, that's what it is, tefillah from tefillim. You have your pay with the I-L, and then you have your doubling of the lamed, because you have the dagesh right there, and you have it with the la ending, the feminine ending right there. So far, things are relatively simple. There is, however, one potential confusing issue. The Bagad Kafet letters can take either a dagesh forte or a dagesh lene. How can you tell which dagesh is being used in the Bagad Kafet letter? Here are a few simple rules. The dagesh in the Bagad Kafet is a forte if preceded by a vowel. Right? So right there in the example, it is showing you that the dagesh is preceded by the patak vowel. You see the patak vowel right there in atah. The dagesh is in the tav. Right here, as you see, the dagesh in the tav, and it's preceded by the aleph is silent, so it's an A-class vowel. Atah. The dagesh in the Bagad Kafet is a lene if preceded by a consonant. Right, so you see the dagesh in the bet, and you see the consonant, right? You see the consonant, le, lebne, leba, right? Leba, malaba, right? And you see the bet, and you see it's preceded by lamed with the silent shawah underneath it. You see that? So that silent shawah is right there, so it's just a consonant. You will learn how to distinguish between vocal and silent shawah in the next section. Number 3, A begat fat letter at the beginning of a word takes a dagesh lene unless the previous word ends in a vowel. So here we have the word debar, right? Debar. So we have here the dalet has a dagesh lene, right? So at the beginning, right? So it says again, the begat kafet letter at the beginning of a word, we have it right here in the bar. It takes the dagesh lene unless the previous word ends in the vowel. So if that previous word would have ended in the vowel that's before the bar, then it would be a dagesh forte. It wouldn't be a dagesh lene. This is why I say you have to study the grammar. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. You're not going to get this overnight. It's going to take time for you to study, and you can tell if you're studying or not, when certain questions get asked. All right? So we're just going to read 3.6, and then after 3.6, we'll stop there, and I'll give you all your homework over the vowels. You won't have no homework over, well, you have a little bit of homework on pronunciation and simplification, but it's going to be mostly on vowels. 3.6, the shawah simplification. You learned that there are two types of shawahs in Hebrew, silent shawah and vocal shawah. The silent shawah has a 0 value and is never pronounced or transliterated. The vocal shawah maintains a hurried pronunciation and sounds like the A in amuse. It is transliterated either as an upside down E or as a superscript E. The vocal shawah will always occur in an open syllable. So anytime you see a shawah in an open syllable, it's vocal. So you're going to pronounce that. You're going to pronounce that shawah. A silent shawah will always come at the end of a closed syllable. That is after a short vowel or an accented long vowel. So you get a closed syllable and the next syllable has a shawah under it, then it's a silent shawah. And you're not even going to pronounce that. You're just going to pronounce that consonant. That's why you'll see some words in transliterations, it'll be like L, comma, and then the Hebrew word is because it's a silent shawah underneath it, and that's what they're showing you. Now we need to learn how to distinguish between a vocal shawah and a silent shawah. There are two simple rules. The shawah is silent if the previous vowel is short. This is just a different way of saying, as above, that a silent shawah will always come at the end of a closed syllable. Consider the shawah in the word malka, meaning queen. It is immediately preceded by a short vowel, patak under the mem, and it comes at the end of a closed syllable. Consider the following applications of this rule. A shawah is silent when immediately preceded by a short vowel. For example, paro, right? Because it's not pharaoh, it's paro. The shawah under the resh is preceded by a short a vowel. Therefore, it is silent, right? So you see right here, the shawah up under the resh, right, is preceded by a short a vowel. So therefore, it's silent, right? And you're not saying the e, you're just saying ro, because you have an island, ayin is silent, and it has a halam above it, and with a hey, halam hey. Oh, remember? Oh, paro. The first of two contingent side-by-side shawahs within a word is silent. For example, the shawah under the shin of Mishafite. Mispate. That's what it is. Mispate. A mispate is silent, and the shawah up under the pay is vocal. The word is simplified mispate. As you can see right here, mis, and you have the pe, mispate, right? You have siri yod at the ending. The word is simplified mispate. C. A shawah at the end of a word is silent, as in katab. Both shawahs in this form are silent. The word is simplified as ka, tab, right? Tab. This is the only exception to the above principle. Why? Because you got two shawahs back to back. Now the vocal. The shawah is vocal if not immediately preceded by a short vowel. That is to say, in other circumstances, the shawah is vocal. Consider the following applications of this second rule. A. Initial shawah is always vocal, as in barakah, right? Barakah. You see, it's the initial shawah, is right there under the first consonant of the word, barakah. The second of two contingents, side by side within the shawaz, the second of two contingent shawaz within the word is vocal, as in mispate. The shawah under the peh is vocal because it's preceded by the consonant shin, and not a short vowel. The shawah under the sin is silent. Why? Because it's preceded by a vowel, the hyric. C. A shawah under any consonant with a dagesh forte is vocal, as in hamalekum, right? Hamalekum. The dagesh in the mem must be forte because it is not a bagad kafat letter, right? Bagad mem is not a bagad kafat letter. Bagad kafat letter, it is literally spelling out the letters: bet, gamel, aleph, dalet, conf. You know what I'm saying? Pei, che, tav. Bagad kafat. You put them all the letters, put them all together in that order, you get the word bagad kafat. Easy to remember. D. A shawah after an unscented long vowel is vocal, as in kotabim. The shawah is preceded by the changeable long o vowel and is therefore vocal, right? The shawah is preceded by the long o vowel, right? Under the ko, under the under the conf, well, above the conf. You have the halam, so you get ko, and then you have the silent shawah, a vocal shawah right up under the tav, right? Kotabim. Interchangeable long. It is preceded by interchangeable low vowel and is therefore vocal, right? It is important at this point to note that the gutturals cannot take a vocal shawah, but they can take a silent shawah. So none of the gutturals can take a vocal shawah. They can only take silent, right? So you see the word right here, samata. You see the sa, S-A, you see the ma, and you see the ata. Where they get the ata, you see the accent above the mem. And you see the A-class vowel underneath the mem. The ayin is silent. This is a silent shawah. So it's like you just skip it. Samata. The shawah under the ayin comes at the end of a closed syllable and is immediately preceded by a short vowel. It is therefore silent. When dealing with the shawah in Hebrew, remember to keep it simple. A shawah is silent if the previous vowel is short. In most other circumstances, it is vocal. All right, and so that's going to be the end of today's lesson, but you will have homework. The homework is going to be the only syllabification homework that you're going to have. You are going to have to give me the 2 rules of syllabification. All right, I want to know the 2 rules of syllabification. I want you to write out all the vowels, long, short, and reduced vowels. I want you to label them their classes and their names. Okay? That includes the vowel, the yod plus a vowel, and the hey plus a vowel, the shurek, and the halam vowel. All vowel sets. You are to write them out. You are to write out their name them, what they are, correctly. You are to label whether they are long, short, or reduced. Okay, and I will put this in the Discord under the Biblical Hebrew homework, Biblical Hebrews class section. I will put the homework there. So you can go in there and look at see what the homework is, exactly what it is, and post your homework in the Biblical Hebrew homework section. That's where you post your homework for grades, all right? So that's going to be the homework. This video is recorded. You can go on my YouTube channel and watch it, or you can just read the chapters 2 again and read chapter 3 all the way down to and stop at Hatef Kametz and Hatef Kametz and Hatef Patak. Stop there. Or you can go back and watch the video replay. All right, this Sunday we may or may not do the replay since I recorded it on video. But if I do a makeup class, then I'm going to play the video in the makeup class and just be answering questions in the comments. All right. So any questions anybody has, now's the time to ask them.
Um, just a quick question. You
Yes.
had said that he for syllabication it can't start with a vowel.
Yes.
I was wondering how is Abba an exception to that rule?
No, because it's spelled with a consonant. Remember, you have to go consonant vowel first, and so that's why the olive is there. The olive is silent. It's still there, present. It's just silent.
Okay, thank you.
And it's the same thing. It's a good question that you asked that because it's the same thing in a ta. Let me find that word of ta. Down here. Where is it at? Where is it? Where are we at? Right here. As you can see right here, you have olive. If you wanted to spell a ta, you would start off with the consonant olive. You would put the A class patak vowel underneath it. You would put the tet with the dagesh forte in it, and then you put your other vowel underneath it. But see, even though it sounds like it's the, you know what I'm saying, that has the A vowel sound, it's not starting with a vowel. It's starting with the consonant. It's just that consonant is just silent. That's all. Remember for chapter 1, all the way in chapter 1. Let me go back up here, chapter 1. In chapter 1, damn it, I scrolled too far. All right, so chapter 1, what does it say in chapter 1? The olive is silent. Silent. Right? The ayin is silent. That's why it just takes on this. It takes on whatever sound the vowel underneath it is. So when you're hearing these things, ata, aba, it may sound like it's starting with a vowel, but it's not. It's starting with a consonant because to spell it, you would be spelling it with consonant, and then you proceeded by a vowel. Because remember, you take away the vowels, you had to supply the vowels yourself. So if you take away the vowels, where is it at? If you take away the vowels, right here, you take away the vowels, you have to supply it. You see the olive is still there? You see that? You see right here? How that olive is still there? But underneath here, you have that vowel right here showing you. So now you know that this is an A. Where achabat. See what I'm saying? So that's why that's the thing. Right here again. It's silent. But right here it has the E class vowel, so it's making the E, the reduced E vowel.
I got it. Thank you.
Elohek. So yeah. So that's the thing about it. That's why it's important to study the vowels, it's important to study the the grammar and to know the grammar. Because some things that are the way they are sound are not actually written, you know how they sound and whatnot. So all right, so that'll be any more questions? If not, then we'll go ahead and conclude the class. All right. Well, thank y'all for showing up for the class. Thank y'all for being consistent and being diligent. And I will post the homework in the biblical class in the beginners section. And don't forget to do your homework. You have till next Friday to do your homework and post it in the homework section. And so just check it out and see. And like I said, any questions y'all have, just ask me, hit me up. I will post the replay up on my YouTube channel, and I will post it in here so y'all can watch and see, you know, and go back over. All right, and so shalom, Shabbat shalom, and lehitoro, peace and blessings, and may the Most High increase each and every one of you in knowledge and open up your minds to this Hebrew grammar and Hebrew understanding, because I will not leave neither one of you behind. Okay, so till Sunday or till next Friday, I bid you all shalom.
What's wrong?
Bakarnish beaderto, yish beabega loke kumin. Genesh hacho katarota arushanoto.